So I got this email from Mercury that talks about how several customers fell victim to phishing attacks. And so they go through and talk about account security a little bit. They explain phishing attacks, which is always good to educate. But then something caught my eye, and it's something that not a lot of companies do, and they do this very strategically, typically because of liability issues. But Mercury took a bold step, and I really like it. So the first thing they did was empathize with the customer. So they acknowledge that fake ads are tricky, but then they talk about how to protect yourself from fake ads. And this is what really got me. The first thing they suggest is to install an ad blocker. Now, companies typically shy away from this. And of course, companies that make money from ads or run ads are not going to encourage this. But so I took a look at their suggestions, and it blew me away how good their suggestions were, because the first one they recommended here was uBlock Origin Lite for Chrome. Chrome, unfortunately, has the highest market share in terms of browsers. So first thing I did was acknowledge Chrome right away. Now, the other detail here is that they used uBlock Origin Lite, and this is because Google killed Manifest v2. They basically rendered uBlock Origin worthless, but uBlock Origin Lite is compatible with Manifest v3. If you don't know what this means right now, I can cover in another video, but basically Mercury's doing a really nice job of staying up to date on this sort of stuff and providing the right recommendations. And you got Edge, which is a Chromium-based browser. And so they also recommended uBlock Origin Lite for the same reason as Chrome. And this is the case for all Chromium-based browsers. For Safari, you got AdGuard, which is fine. Firefox, you got the original uBlock Origin. Honestly, if you aren't using uBlock Origin at this point, your internet experience, I don't know. I can't even imagine your internet experience without uBlock Origin. Seriously, even if you don't know anything about it, just open up Firefox, install uBlock Origin, and enjoy it. I can make a separate video on why you need to use uBlock Origin. But before I even make that, just please go and install uBlock Origin on Firefox. You got AdGuard for Safari and iOS, which are good recommendations. And then back to Firefox on Android, you got uBlock Origin again. They don't go into much detail about why you should do this. They say these blockers allow you to selectively enable ads on sites you'd still like to support. But uBlock Origin does a lot more than just block ads. These are actually content blockers. They're colloquially known as ad blockers, but they're really content blockers because they can block malware, they can block specific sites, they can block trackers from social media, they can block crypto mining, even depending on configurations. Hats off to the Mercury team for making not just good suggestions, making the correct suggestions, because I'll often see some other companies who do recommend software. For example, this happens a lot in two-factor authentication. They'll say, oh, you need Google Authenticator, or you need Microsoft Authenticator for your two-factor, and that's not the case. You don't need Google Authenticator specifically. You don't actually need what they recommend. Two-factor authentication is typically agnostic, and you can use any authentication app. You don't have to be tied to Google Authenticator or Authy or whatever else might be sitting at the top of the App Store. So anyways, hats off to the Mercury team. Really good recommendations. I'm a nobody on the internet. The fact that a company like Mercury make these recommendations and send an email campaign regarding this is great. More to come on good security practices.